I'm Chris Chivvis. I'm the Associate Director of the RAND International Security and Defense Policy Program. Scholars have been looking at hybrid warfare over the course of the last several years as a way in which states such as Russia, but also Iran, China, and others manage to use measures that are just short of war in order to achieve their national security objectives. They might use things like economic influence or information operations or even special forces, but use them in ways that don't quite rise to the level of conventional war. Hybrid strategies involve a range of different kinds of tools, a range of different instruments of influence and power. These can include the use of cyber for espionage or to directly attack our networks. They can include the use of economic influence, for example, in the energy sector, but also in other sectors. They can include the use of special forces to run below the radar and conduct operations in other countries. There are really a range of different things that are included and are available to countries that employ hybrid strategies. But it's the use of all of these things together in order to achieve national ends that is hybrid warfare. So information operations have been in the news a lot recently, in particular because of the allegation that Russia conducted an information operations campaign against the United States during its 2016 presidential election. The typical way in which an information operations campaign would work is that an adversary country, would try to get a hold of information using covert or clandestine means, potentially cyber, and then use that information, broadcast it through many different channels and at high volume to try and affect public opinion, to confuse discussion, and to ensure that the outcome that they want, for example, in an election, is more likely to take place. One of the areas where there's a possibility of information operations coming up within the next several months are two elections in two key U.S. allied countries, France and Germany. France and Germany are two of America's most important allies in Europe, and there's a possibility that Russia may try to interfere in their elections in order to ensure outcomes that suit its interests, and in particular to try and weaken the strength of European sanctions and weaken the strength of European unity with regard to Russia's policies in Ukraine. To combat these hybrid warfare strategies, there are a number of things that the United States needs to do. It's going to have to begin with the development of a national strategy. That strategy is going to have to be interagency in nature. It's going to have to focus on ensuring that the intelligence community has the assets and resources that it needs to carry out its important mission in this area. In addition, the strategy is going to require strong support for European anti-corruption measures, as well as strong support for European institution building and defense institution building. All the while, we have to recognize that the United States itself is not immune to this threat.